Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Sorry, I am Heather and we are going to be doing the June book reading challenges that I have been doing this entire year, where I read Buzzwordathon books, keyword reading challenge books, and Black author reading challenge books. And I'm going to go ahead and just start and show you all the books that I'm going to be reading and why I picked them and all that good stuff. So the first one I have is SOOO by Kwame Alexander, and this is a YA, and it is told in like poetry form. This is for the Buzzwordathon for the one-word book title. Next one is for the Buzzword 2, and it has wings on it. This is by Akwake, Emezi. I love their works. So Son of Morning is a romantasy, and I'm really excited to get into this too. I've heard good things. Then for the keyword, I picked Middle of the Night, which is a Batman inspired romance, which I'm very interested in reading. So I'm interested in reading that one. And then for the Black author book, it's like folklore, mythology, all of that. And I picked Brown Girl in the Ring, which is like a sci-fi fantasy / horror, and I believe it kind of is giving me Chain Gang All-Star vibes, that kind of thing, but I'm really interested because it is considered a classic. Those are the books I'm going to be reading. I am going to start with SOOO. I know that this is heavily has to do with music, and Blade, I believe, yes, Blade is an inspired musician trying to make it in the big leagues, I guess you could say. So I'm going to start with this one first, and I do have the audiobook for it. I've heard that you needed to read it with the audiobook because the audiobook is amazing, and Kwame Alexander is the narrator too, and I love reading poetry by, like, that is narrated by the author. I think you get so much more out of it when the author is actually the one reading it to you. So I'm really excited to get into this, and I'll let you know how I feel. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Excuse the way I look, it's freaking hot outside. Like it's 10 o'clock in the morning and it's already 95 degrees. Okay. It's hot. Anyways, I wanted to let you know that I did end up finishing SOOO yesterday by Kwame Alexander, and I'm gonna give it a 3.75. This book is about Blade, and Blade is the son of a very popular rock star, and his dad has a lot of issues with substance abuse, which affects Blade a lot, and his sister Storm a lot. And when Blade graduates from high school, he is ready to get away from his dad because it's constant, and he just wants to get away. He wants to pursue his music career, but he, you know, he's a teenager, so he's having a hard time with that. But he also figures out a secret that has been in his family for a long time, so he decides to go to Ghana, and there he realizes that he has a purpose, which he always had a purpose, but you know, when you're a teenager, you want to figure out what your purpose is and everything, and he finds his purpose, and he realizes that Ghana might be the place for him. He loves the culture, he loves the people. He realizes too that there are people there that he would like to really get to know and become closer with. So he does. I would say that this book has a lot of soul searching in it, plus it is a coming of age story for Blade. I will say that Blade is selfish at a lot of times, but he is also a teenager, so I understand that part. I really loved the music that was in here too, because if you listen to the audiobook, there are parts where Kwame Alexander has written music, and he actually records the music part of it in the book, which I thought was a really cool feature. I will say that the overall pacing of this book it's very quick, obviously, because it's written in poetry form, but it's kind of all over the place too. We don't really get a lot of like deep dives into Blade and his family. I mean, there's a lot of talk of it in here, but it kind of felt like it didn't go deep enough, you know, it didn't go deep enough in that. But I understand the reasoning behind why this book was written the way that it was. It's in poetry form, music is poetry, and I think that a lot of people would get a lot out of this book. I, again, like the music aspect of this book. Blade is very talented, and he just needed a little bit of confidence for one, two, to get out of like his crazy home life situation because his dad is in and out of rehab and everything, and he just wanted stability in his life. And when he goes to Ghana, he actually finds the stability that he needs, which I really, really like to see. He had a lot of growth in this book. I like to see that in coming of age stories. I mean, that's the point of the coming of age story, you know? So 3.75, it was good. If you like poetry, if you like books that tell a story in poetry format, I think you would like this. If you're a music fan, I think you would like this. But it was just kind of, some of the plot was just kind of like all over the place for me, and it didn't go deep enough for me. Then I started to read Middle of the Night by Shelby Lewis, and this is a Batman inspired vigilante story, and I am really, really liking it. I read about 25%, I got about 25% into this book last night, and I am really, really enjoying it. So this story is about Emma, and Emma is a bartender slash waitress at this notorious mob club called the Crescent City, and she does not like her job. Her boss is a butthole, and he is like a mob boss and everything like that. He expects his employees to work their tails off and not make a lot of money in the process. Emma has found herself in a pretty significant financial situation, and she has to take a loan from her boss, which is not good at all. If you know anything about Batman, the city that she's living in is full of crime, grime. Oh, that rhymed. Oh, okay, don't unfollow me, please. Anyways, it's not a good place, okay? And Emma, from the very beginning, she is assaulted multiple times. It doesn't go too much into detail, but it's just enough to like for you to see it. But she does hold her own pretty well, and I was happy to see that. She's not a damsel in distress whatsoever. She ends up bumping into this person called the Phantom. He's like the Batman figure of but it's supposed to be their romance, and I'm excited to see how their romance blooms. It's gonna be a slow burn, I believe, but I'm excited to get into it. And I was in it, okay? I was in it. I started reading it at like 8:30 last night, got 25% in. I'll let you know how I feel moving forward. Hopefully I enjoy it. I think I'm going to like it. I have been in the mood for a dark romance that's not so like heavy on the sex part of it. I've been wanting some grime and just like some brutality in my romances, and I think that this one might be a good one. To see it only have like 55 reviews on Goodreads is crazy to me, so hopefully I'll be able to help get this book out if I really, really like it. I'll let you know. Okay? Okay. My camera's about to shut off right now. I got a new memory card. I'm gonna see. Really? I'm gonna see if that is the issue with my camera. So, crossing our fingers. This is Daisy. It's a Daisy. Daisy girl. She's crazy. So if you hear her in the background, sorry. I ended up finishing Middle of the Night by Shelby Lewis, and I'm going to give it a 4. Thought that it was really fun. Right. Now that the chaos is gone, what I was saying is I finished Middle of the Night, and I would say that this is more of a suspense romance than anything. It has a lot of action to it. It is dark. It's on the darker side, and you can tell that it was heavily inspired by Batman. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was really, really good. There's a lot of action, there's a lot of angst, there's not a lot of steam in here. This is a very slow burn romance. I thought it was really sweet at times between Emma and James. James is a brooding character. He's very quiet. He doesn't like to be in the spotlight, and he's also like one of the richest people, if not the richest person in New Atlas, which is where the setting is. And Emma becomes his assistant, not knowing that he is actually the Phantom as well, who is like the Batman character of the story. She, you know, finally realizes that he is the Phantom, and she wants to help him because the crimes that are being committed are against girls that she works with at a club called the Crescent Club, which is run by this like mob boss called the Wolf, and really horrible things go on there. Girls aren't treated well, girls end up missing, and then they end up dead, and she wants to figure out what's happening at the club and who's behind everything. So Phantom and her team up and try to figure everything out, and I thought that it was really, really good. Thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. Like I said, I'm giving it a 4. You can tell it's a debut. It's not a perfectly written book, but it was fun enough to where I hope that there's a second one, because I will definitely pick up the second one. Next book we're going to read is Son of Morning, because of the wings on here. And I love me some Akwake Emezi books. I know that this is a steamy paranormal romance. And it says that it's set in the Black South, and I believe Lucifer is the main character, and Gally is the main love interest too. And I think that this might be a why choose. I think that a third one comes in, but I'm not really sure. I've just heard really good things about it. People have been loving this book, and I know that it's gonna be a good one. And there's another one on here. I'm wondering who he is. I ended up finishing Son of the Morning. I'm gonna give this a 3. Ow. I'm gonna give this a 3.75. Please stop biting me. Please stop. The puppy is down here biting and it hurts. Anyways, I'm gonna give this book a 3.75. It was very insta-love. I typically hate insta-love, but this time around, I didn't hate it that much. This is about Gally. And Gally has always felt different. She lives on an island with women, and they are very prevalent to this island. They hunt on the island, they survive on the island. To have children, they find a male on the inland, and they have a baby with them, and then they go back to the island and they raise their baby. They only have girls as well. That was very interesting. But anyways, Gally has always felt different. She's never really felt like she fit in with her family, even though she's always been welcomed with open arms for the most part. So she decides at 25 she's going to leave the island, and she's going to start living her life not on the island. She runs into this guy named Lucifer. Like okay, first off, she has 2 best friends. Please don't bite me. She has 2 best friends, and one of the best friends comes from a very, very, very rich family, and at a party that Gally was at, she runs into this guy named Lucifer, and they have a moment. They meet each other, and 5 seconds later they get in on. Pretty much. They have a moment, and Gally is just enamored with Lucifer. Straight up. She is like, he is my dude, and I want him. And he feels the same way about her. So their relationship starts very quickly, but the overall fantasy aspect of this book is talking about religion a lot, and how the angels in this book aren't all good. And I liked the way that Akwake and Emezi told that story. I've seen it various ways throughout the years, but I really liked her interpretation of angels, demons, what happened with Lucifer's fall from heaven, and all of that. There were some really, really steamy scenes in here, and there was a plot in here, sort of. Loosely, it was more just like their relationship, which was, like I said, very quick. They loved each other by day 2, and I was like, wow. I guess sometimes you just know, but sometimes it's, well. But Lucifer is after this artifact that could potentially ruin the world, and Gally, I'm sorry, my dogs are fighting. Stop. And Gally is just trying to figure out who she is. She finds out who she is along the way, and it terrifies people, but I thought it was pretty cool. I liked all of her powers. Thought it was pretty cool. So it's just really about their relationship, her finding her powers, and then them falling in love in 2 days. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good. And it's a wide shoes. Oh, my bookmark's still in there. And it's a wide shoes. So if you like those wide shoeses, if you like insta love, if you are into like demons and angels and all that stuff, I think you would like this. And Akwake Emezi is just a phenomenal writer. I love their storytelling. So basically anything that you read by this author, I think it's gonna be a good one. And this was, ow, stop biting. And this one didn't disappoint. It was just very insta-lovey. Do your dogs just bite the crap out of you sometimes? She's teething, so you know, she doesn't mean it to be hurtful. And her paws are the size of my palm, so you know, she's good. She's a big girl. She's a big girl. But next book I'm gonna read is The Brown Girl in the Ring. I believe this is a sci-fi fantasy dystopian something or another. It's to do with folklore and magic. That was the prompt for June, is like folklore, magic, mythology. So I'm gonna read Brown Girl in the Ring for that. I feel like this clip was very chaotic. But I'll let you know how I feel. Hello, I ended up finishing Brown Girl in the Ring and I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I liked the overall magic, fantastical part of this book. It was just a tad bit too chaotic with its writing for me. It was just all over the place and it was hard to keep up with at times. There was just a lot of stuff going on and nothing was really fleshed out enough for me. We have Tashawn, and Tashawn is a young mother. She is living in this community in Ontario that has been cut off from the rest of Canada. It's all of the rich people have left, leaving the poor people to try to figure out resources because they don't have power, they don't have electricity, they're having to grow food, they're having to trade, and there are some people who are harvesting human bodies for the black market. And Tashawn finds herself in the middle of chaos. Her baby daddy is into some pretty hardcore things and she finds herself making a deal with a god to try to save not only herself but the people that are around her, the people that she cares for. And this god does some pretty horrible things, like, and she just has to go along with it. And when she realizes who the, like, what the thing is that the gods have given to her to help her along with her journey, it becomes more of a family drama in a way. And there was just a lot, but it was a very quick book. I'm so sorry. It was a very short book, and I think that hey, I'm doing something here, okay? I'm doing something here. But it was a very short book, and it just wasn't fleshed out enough for me. There was a lot of questions that I had at the end, and like I said, it was just very chaotic. A lot of stuff going on, and I don't know. Just wasn't my thing. Wasn't my thing. But overall, I liked the magic, I liked the fantasy, I liked learning about the gods in general, and I might pick up another book from this author. I do think that this was one of the earlier releases for this author, so I might give this author another try. My overall rating for this video was a 3.5. That's pretty good in my book, like in my opinion, you know. And Middle of the Night was my favorite one from this video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this video, what you thought of the books that I read, what you think of my crazy puppy, because she's nuts. And I will see you on the next one. Literally, I'm about to start filming it in like 2 seconds. Okay, goodbye.